Welcome back, everybody. What's going on? It's another episode of Seahawks Now, and today we do have breaking news. Well, not really breaking. It came out yesterday. I'm a little behind, actually. Sorry, guys. But Noah Fant, he's been released. The Seahawks tight end, Noah Fant, no longer part of the squad. He has been released, and this is something that we had talked about, potentially that could have happened. I was really kind of hoping that maybe he would get traded, you know, because then you get some value out of him. But instead, yeah, it gets released. I guess nobody wanted him. Kind of an underwhelming tenure. He was a former first round pick. He came over from the Broncos in the blockbuster 2022 trade that sent Russell Wilson to the Broncos. It brought back Drew Lock. It brought back Noah Fant. It brought back multiple draft picks. And honestly, the draft picks are the ones that really made that trade worth it, because we did end up getting Devon Witherspoon out of that trade. That was who that draft pick turned into. So regardless on that, yeah, we made those draft picks worth it, but we didn't really make the players worth it. I mean, Noah Fant just kind of was not great. He was fine. I don't want to make it out to be that he wasn't amazing, but he was paid. I mean, we were paying him $21 million. It was a 2-year, $21 million deal that he signed last year. He has 1 year left, so we do owe him quite a bit of money. We're gonna have to pay out, but the cap hit this season would have been $13.4 million. That would be the second highest cap hit out of any player on this team. So he was gonna be more expensive than any of our receivers. He was gonna be more expensive than any of our running backs. And he was going to be more expensive than everyone on our defense. And that just doesn't make sense because he's not one of the 10 best players on your team. You cannot be paying your 12th best player the amount of money that is actually your second highest paid on the team. I mean, that doesn't work out. There's no reason why Sam Darnold, obviously he's the highest paid, but Noah Fant should not be the second highest paid guy on the team. And obviously they may have tried to restructure things. He didn't want to. Here's what Brock Heward says. He just says, quote, "He just wasn't dynamic enough. If you're going to make that kind of money at this position in the league, you've got to produce much more significant numbers. You've got to make things happen when the ball is in your hands. Good player, yes. Great player worthy of that contract? At this stage, no." And that is true. He was not worthy of the contract. Again, if you look at the numbers, they were fine. They were fine. Last year was his worst year, but let's look at the 3 years combined with the Seattle Seahawks. He caught 170, he was targeted 170 times. He caught 130 passes. He played 48 games, starting in 42 of them. So he started a lot, but he only scored 5 touchdowns in 3 seasons as a Seahawk. He didn't score any in 2023. He scored 1 last year. He scored 4 in his first year here. So he was definitely best in that first year. He went for a total of 1,400 yards, averaging 10.8 yards per reception. For a tight end, those aren't bad numbers, but for a tight end who's being paid as the 8th highest paid tight end in the league and the 2nd highest paid player on your team, you have to be better. So, yeah, unfortunately, the Seahawks, they couldn't find a trading partner. I'm sure they looked into it. They are on the hook to pay $8.5 million. Actually, it's $8.49 million, so that's a lot of money. I mean, that's significantly a lot of money. That's if he had been injured. If he had sustained an injury, they would have had to pay that $8.4 million. Instead, they don't owe him that $8.4 million because they released him now. So they will have to pay him a little bit, but they're just not going to owe him that much. What does this do? Well, it does clear cap space. It clears cap space pretty significantly, right? $13.4 million is now off the cap, or probably a little bit less than that because you do have to pay him a little bit. But what that means is that you do free up some room if you want to go out and make a big trade, and we're going to get to that in a little bit because there's more updates on Trey Hendrickson. We're going to talk about that. But first, I'm asking the question, with Noah Fant gone, who will be the Seahawks starting tight end in 2025? And really, there's 2 options. I mean, they have 2 options to go through. They have Elijah Arroyo, second round draft pick, He's a rookie this year. Or they have AJ Barner, who was, I believe, a 4th round pick last season, and had a decent rookie year. He had 4 touchdowns last year. They also signed Eric Saubert from the 49ers, and they also drafted 5th round fullback Robbie Outs. So that's kind of where they're at right now on the roster. None of these guys really stand out as the clear tight end number 1. I think long-term the plan is probably Elijah Arroyo, though. So let's get into Elijah Arroyo really quickly. So he just signed his contract. Remember that? He signed it yesterday, which is also interesting. They were waiting to release Noah Fant until they signed Arroyo, which makes me wonder, were they worried about not getting him? I'm not sure. Last year, as a junior at Miami, Elijah Arroyo, he caught 35 passes for 590 yards, going for 16.9 yards per reception. That's really good. And he scored 7 touchdowns, averaging 45 yards per game. He's also a good blocking tight end. Look, was he the best tight end in all of college football? Obviously not. He only went for 590 yards, but he did score a lot. He scored 7 touchdowns, and I think he developed a lot of tools. I think he showed a lot of potential. I think he can continue to get better over time as a Seattle Seahawk. I think that's kind of where the Seahawks are at, is they believe they can develop him into an even better tight end than he was in college. He's 6'4", 235 pounds. He's a good player. Then we got A.J. Barner, and looking at his numbers, again, last year he was okay. He only went for 245 yards, only averaged 8.2 yards per reception, which isn't great, but he scored 4 touchdowns on 30 exactly receptions. He started 6 games, played in all 17. I think he can be good. He was a 4th-round pick out of Michigan. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he can be your best tight end, but I think if Arroyo needs time to develop, you can trust A.J. Barner to start for a little bit. I don't think the long-term plan, though, is for A.J. Barner to be their starting tight end. I think the long-term plan is it's going to be Arroyo. A.J. Barner is there just in case something happens. He's there maybe to start the first month of the season. But yeah, long-term, the Seahawks, they are displaying confidence in their second-round pick. This is Elijah Arroyo's job now. They clearly were waiting to see if they could sign Arroyo, and as soon as they did, Noah Fant out of the picture. Yeah, makes sense. Then we look at Eric Sauber, and he's kind of that third option now at tight end. This guy probably only plays if guys are getting hurt. He's backed up George Kittle last year in San Francisco. Before that, he played with Denver, Jacksonville, Chicago, Dallas, and Atlanta, and Houston. He's been all over the place. So he is on his 8th team now. He's 31 years old. Last year, he caught 11 passes for 97 yards and 1 touchdown. He has 3 career touchdowns, 389 career receiving yards. So yeah, he's a valuable guy to have. He's a team player. He's going to, he'll make an impact. He was a 5th-round draft pick back in 2017. But really, he's probably not going to see the field much unless guys get hurt. So cross our fingers that he won't have to see the field, not even because we don't want to watch him play, but just because we don't want our other guys to get hurt. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about what that cap space could be for Trey Hendrickson. The latest update on the Trey Hendrickson trade rumors. Guys, we've been following this rumors for a long time. The latest rumors, he is not reporting to Bengals camp. Talks broke down. This is according to NFLTradeReports.com. According to Tony Caminero, Adam Schefter has reported Trey Hendrickson is not reporting to training camp. Today is when it began. The rest of the Bengals veterans are there. Schefter mentions the holdup is because of the new deal's guaranteed money. Per Schefter, Cincinnati is only willing to offer 1 year of guaranteed money, while other top pass rushers have been giving 3 guaranteed years. Former Bengals linebacker Monty Teo said the Bengals offer and their guarantees are atrociously low. Yesterday, it was reported that they have sent multiple offers recently, including one in the last few days. Their owner, Mike Brown, he seems like he thinks they can get the deal done. He sounded very optimistic. He was talking about how much they love Trey, how much they want to keep him in the building, but they're not offering him. Apparently, they are remaining at the $28 million a year offer. That's what they initially offered him. Hendrickson wants more. He wants to be paid at least $34 million. That is what he's worth. That's what he's worth. So, what does that mean? Well, ultimately, that's good news for the Seahawks, right? The bad news would be like with TJ Watt. If we want to trade for Trey Hendrickson, we don't want him to do what Watt just did and actually sign the contract. If we want to trade for Trey Hendrickson, we want him to keep holding out. We want the Bengals to keep not giving in. And then maybe, just maybe, they decide to kick the tires on a trade. And when they do, Seattle is one of the few teams in the league that has the cap space to make it happen. That's what I think is what we're missing, is that obviously every team would love to trade for Trey Hendrickson, right? Every team would love to have the guy who finished runner-up in Defensive Player of the Year voting on their defense. I mean, there's not a single GM in the league that's going to say, no, we don't want Trey Hendrickson. especially because the price is probably not that bad. It's probably going to cost, I would guess, a second round pick to trade for him, and then you have to obviously extend him and pay him a lot of money. That's where the Seahawks come in. There's not that many teams in the league that can afford to pay him what he's looking for, but Seattle does have the cap space to make it happen, and now they have even more cap space after releasing Noah Fant. So I wonder, are the Seahawks just doing this to save money? Are they saving money for the trade deadline? Or are they actually serious about trying to make a push to improve the team right now in the preseason? Are they thinking about kicking the tires on a Trey Hendrickson trade? I really hope they are. But with that being said, I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. What do you think the likelihood is? Give me a percentage. I want to hear it. I want to hear you guys' answers down below. Let me know down in the comments. What's the percentage of a Trey Hendrickson trade coming to the Seattle Seahawks this summer? With that all being said, we're going to wrap things up for today. As always, if you like this video, hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. And until tomorrow, as always, go Seahawks.